You staying home tonight?
I hadn't planned on it, no.
Plan on it.
Louder.
We haven't even
As in-
started. You've already called me annoying.
As in louder. Like louder.
Are we going to be able to hear our kids?
Yeah, that's how loud the microphone seems.
You're talking so passionately. Do you remember the show?
Like,
I know, right?
really tapping.
No, but afterwards, you're not going to be able to hear that. When I edit everything, you won't be able to hear that.
okay.
But you do sound kind of quiet still. Talking to the mic.
I'm talking.
Man, you really got a voice for radio. You have a radio voice.
That's not what you've told me before.
It's just airing all the grievances right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. We're going to go live. I mean, we're already live. Oh, you got to press record over here. There's so many things to keep track of. You know?
Yeah. My computer's going to be super distracting.
Why?
Somebody looking at the computer instead of looking this way, which is weird to begin with for a podcast.
You know, what for us both to be looking. Do you want us to turn towards each other a little bit?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open to that.
Good.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
How are you?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. We're here live in our very fancy studio. We have our living room windows wide open, so everyone who comes down our cul-de-sac, don't be creepy, don't come down here, but they could see that we're podcasting.
Drive by, look at live streaming in the studio.
Yeah. People could probably
it's like
figure
when you
out.
walk downtown and there's a radio station and they've got the windows and you can see the band that's playing.
Yeah, and
on
it's
the
like you want
radio.
to come inside. Could we open
But
up
they don't let you come in.
We could open up a
You're not
coffee
allowed.
shop here in our house.
We could do a lot of things that I don't want to do.
So for those of you listening at home and not watching on video, and those of you who don't recognize my wife, this is my wife, Danielle. Welcome to the show, Danielle.
Thank you.
Said Danielle's voice is too quiet.
Welcome to my dining room.
Her voice is too quiet. I'm gonna try to turn it up. What made you want to? A while ago, you said you wanted to start podcasting.
Really?
Yeah, you said let's start a podcast.
I thought you said that.
No, you said that.
Maybe it's because I wanted to spend more time with you because you were podcasting.
I know. I've been
and I wanted to be a
podcasting lot.
part of your life.
Well, you are a part of my life. You know, okay, so I have things I was going to talk about on my podcast. So today I was going to...
Let's talk about those things.
Ignatius asked me, what are you going to talk about on the podcast? And I said, I might tell some stories or I might just talk about how I'm feeling. You're going to have to talk really
Both are kind of
close.
scary.
Yeah, you're going to have to talk close because Kit and Steve said they can't hear you.
Okay.
So... Few things have been going on. So a few updates. This was going to be kind of an update podcast. An update podcast / video. I mean, we're trying all these things. This is like juggling multiple balls in the air. But let's see. Is everything fine? I just keep getting so nervous that everything's not okay.
Updates.
Yeah, updates. So I went to the Catholic Creatives Conference. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was. So that's what I'm trying to figure out is what updates. How far back are we going?
We're going back to the Catholic Creatives Conference. Oh, man. I was talking to the wrong side of the mic. We're going back to the Catholic Creatives Conference. So a few things have happened since then. Keep messing with everything. We need a producer. By the way, if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you're interested in producing a podcast / video show and you want to break into that industry and you're cheap.
We can pay you in Red Bull.
Yeah, we could pay you in Red Bull. Or maybe something else. Maybe we can trade some things. Anyways, okay. This is what I want to talk about today. I went to the Catholic Creatives Conference. You remember that, right?
Yes.
It sounds so intimate. This is it's hard for me to talk. It just sounds so loud and intimate right now. And it's probably also, I'm nervous because you're my wife.
Those are two very not the same things. Loud and intimate.
Yeah, it's just so loud.
Usually
it feels like
soft
it feels like
and quiet is intimate, and
This is
loud is
NPR.
not intimate.
it just feels like this is NPR. I'm Lyra. You know, it just feels like that a little bit intimate. Anyways, okay. So I went to the Catholic Creatives Conference. You know this. I've kind of told you this. This is a conference of creatives who happen to be Catholic. And it's a lot of independent Catholics doing really cool stuff, like freelancing type stuff, or just artists, or video. You know, I guess people you wouldn't call necessarily freelancers, but like companies like Spirit Juice Studios and Ascension Press was there, but also just a lot of people just doing stuff on their own. And it was really great. I loved it. I loved I loved the whole thing. But one of the things that stood out the most was this feeling. What are you thinking already?
I know. It was like our life changed when you came home from the.
Really? What was your experience of that? What do you mean?
Well, I guess I'll tell your updates for you.
In what way did our life change? Well, okay, well, now there's two projects that you can't.
Oh,
So there's two big projects that we can't talk about yet.
yeah.
I know. Don't just spill it.
It just seemed like you
We're
were
not allowed to talk about them.
You were on the like calmed, like on the low, like you were slowing down
before the conference.
Yeah, slowing down, spending more time at home, concentrating on your job, and like getting all that straightened out, and you know, doing masters a little bit. So things seemed like maybe they're going to be a little more normal. And then you went to the conference, and then
Things got crazy.
you know, things got creative. So, how corny that is, but
So what happened was I realized, man, I've always had these, you know, I've always had these side project things that I've always been interested in doing. I've always done these things.
always.
Well, okay, not always. Since kind of like the last half of college, I had been getting into
Which is me.
What?
Since
you.
I guess that's
You made
my
me
fault.
you made me so creative.
Definitely makes it sound like that.
So I've just always done these side things and writing and websites and making videos and just making stuff, making a podcast, you know, staying up late and making a podcast every now and then. And when I was at this conference, I think I really realized that if I really believe in this, if I really believe that there's an opportunity in this new crazy internet world to build an audience, a small audience, it doesn't have to be huge, but a small audience that's interested in the stuff I'm creating and making, and that at some point in the future, because I don't know that I want to be in church ministry for the rest of my life, but at some point when that transition happens, I want to work at I want to work at my church for as long as possible. And at some point when that transition happens, I think the next thing would be to quote unquote retire and work from home doing creative stuff. And so that's why I've just always been dabbling with all these things and experimenting and learning how to podcast and learning how to make videos and learning how to do social media and learning how to brand and do Photoshop. And all of those things also happen to really help my day job. You know, they help me in ministry because I make podcasts for my church and I can design stuff on Photoshop and I can do social media and it's teaching me how to communicate. So one of the big things that came out of the conference was I had been feeling a lot of guilt about that. Have I told you this? I think I've talked to you about this a little bit.
Guilt about podcasting?
No,
and doing
just-
side projects?
No, well, a little bit. Yeah, like guilt about doing side projects. Like people, I felt like when I was at the conference, I was around a bunch of people who, not all of them, but who annoy their wives and spouses because they stay up late making stuff.
And people say, how do you have time to do that?
Yeah, and none of us at the conference were talking about like that, you know? None of us were like, oh, well, you know, I don't have time to do that. That was like one of the biggest things was I realized, wow, okay, this is a group of my peers, and a lot of them are doing stuff full time. A lot of them have started companies or businesses and stuff like that. And I don't want to do that full time, But there were a lot of people there that were doing stuff on the side. They were just, or started on the side and then eventually it turned into something. Like Christy from Every Sacred Sunday. It was so cool meeting her. And she's just like a normal, cool person, but has started this whole big thing that rivals what a lot of publishing companies have been putting out, these products and stuff. I wonder if someone texted you who's seeing you on the live stream. So that was just, I don't know. That was a really big moment for me. And I just thought, man, if by the next year that they do another conference like this, if I haven't finally like really gone all in, because with all the stuff I was doing, I still didn't feel like I was really going all in. Like I have high expectations that I place on myself.
I'm on pins and needles waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Well, just, like I'm doing,
if by next year you haven't gone all in.
Yeah, if by next year, no, not quitting or anything, but if by next year I haven't fulfilled my expectations, which are to be creating videos weekly, to be putting out podcasts weekly, to be more active on Instagram, and to do little projects like the projects we can't talk about, those secret projects, but to do things in my spare time. And what everyone asks who knows me is, how do you have time to do that? So how do I have time to do this?
Yeah, what are you going to tell them?
What would you tell them? What do you tell people?
Red Bull.
What do you tell people when they ask you, how does your husband have time to do all this? Do you just say, my husband's just so amazing? Do you just say, my husband's really smart. He's brilliant. My husband's actually probably mildly autistic. Do you just say that?
That has no relation to
Do you say my
time.
husband? Do you just say my husband does cocaine?
To the clock.
What do you say? Do people ever ask you that?
Honestly,
are people ever nervous?
I don't think they're ever
for
nervous.
You? Like they're nervous for you. They're like, is everything okay? Your husband seems to be on a tear right now. He seems to be like manic. Is he addicted to meth?
I mean, very few people use words like that, but
meth.
But usually I just say he doesn't.
What does that mean?
That
sounds kind of mean.
Well, I may mean it kind of mean.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Do you feel like I'm not home enough?
There have been times.
There have been times, but do you feel like recently I haven't been home enough?
Well, in the past, you wouldn't talk to me about the things you were doing, and you would just do them.
Yeah. We're talking about...
And that was a problem.
On Tabor Street.
So, well...
Yeah, I would just like disappear into my room. After the kids are asleep, it was like I'd just disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah. But more recently...
Or in the middle of the day.
Yeah. But more recently, I've gotten better. Mm-hmm. Been waking up at 5 a.m.
So I can respond more charitably if you bring me along.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Speak to me about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
you make me feel invested too.
Yeah.
You got to sell me.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
I've been doing that my whole life, or our whole relationship. I've been selling you.
Mm-hmm. You have.
Like, this would be a great idea. You should marry me.
You sold me.
You got to keep near the microphone.
That's very true. You did sell me on that.
I did. You didn't. You want to talk about?
I didn't want to.
She was ready to give up. She was done. You were done.
I was.
She threw her ring at me.
Did I throw it?
Yeah, you threw it at me.
No.
Okay, you tossed it lovingly. No, you were like, here you go. I was sitting in my Acura. What? You remember what?
I remember it differently, but go ahead.
I was sitting in my Acura Integra and we were having our normal fight that we usually have.
Oh, that was a bad one.
Yeah, and you were like, got out of the car and you're like, nope, we're done. This is it. This isn't working. And then you threw the ring at me.
It was dark. Are you sure I threw it? We'd have lost it.
No, it was daytime. Not true. It was daytime. Yeah. It was daytime.
No, it was after we ate at that Mexican restaurant with all of our friends.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, this was a different time.
This was a different time you threw the engagement ring at me. No, there was only one time.
So you had to convince me several times to marry you.
There was only one time you threw the engagement ring at me. I hope everyone can hear you okay. Let's just check real quick. This podcast is going great.
In the Headphones.
Podcast is going great. Let's see. Where's like chat? Where's like chat stuff? Do you see chat stuff? Should we just not worry about it? 2 people are watching. It's Kit and Steve, probably. So, well, how do I have time? Because this is related to what I wanted to talk about. I'm glad you're on here. Welcome to the show. I've been waking up early, right? Okay, would you say that I set a lot of really weird expectations on myself? That's my foot.
Stop it.
Oh, sorry. Would you say that I set weird, like high bar expectations on myself to do stuff, do podcasts and do videos and stuff like that?
I mean, I know you guilt trip yourself about not doing them when you want to.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, we all can do when we're not perfect people.
Or when we feel like we have the ability to do something and we want to do something and it's like right there. It's like, man, if I just want to do it.
Then you just say, not today.
Not today. But I do. But I have been doing it. Right?
Yeah.
Like waking up at 5 a.m.
Yes.
And putting in tons of work at work to get ahead of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then making sure to come home on time.
Mm-hmm.
Come home at 5.
Mm-hmm.
And not, taking my 2 days off every week. That's another huge thing.
Yes.
It's taken a long time to make sure I get that in.
It has.
And then to make sure that we're having dates and we're having time set aside. I've watched more TV in the last year and a half, I think, than in our whole marriage.
I think I've watched more TV in the past year and a half than I have my entire life.
That's true. That's probably true. But what I mean by that is we've been spending time together. I've been doing a good job with all that. And also, what is that? Was that
Dogs.
a dog? Oh, there's dogs. Oh my gosh. Sounded like a kid.
It's our dog.
Yeah, it's our small puppy. It really does. Are you sure it's not one of our kids?
Yes.
Okay. So I came back from the conference and I was really jazzed up and I was kind of, unashamed at this point to just say, I'm okay with the fact that this is something I like to do. I like doing stuff.
So you always felt bad about that you liked to do it?
Yeah, because I would talk about these projects and stuff that I do, and I would talk about, and people would see all these different things that I'm trying and experimenting. And
make you feel bad about it.
Yeah, people would be like, oh, I don't have time to do that.
Or you felt like they were putting you through a guilt trip.
Yeah, and granted, I know a lot of our friends might listen to this and hear this, and I know that no one ever did it intentionally and directly, like mean-spirited.
But you're a sensitive person.
I am a very sensitive person. I'm very sensitive internally. On the outside, I'm tough. But the inside, I'm marshmallow. Hey.
I think I have more calluses than you do.
You definitely do. But that's because you've been roping and riding for your whole life. Once you come down from those fences. Desperado. So it wasn't that anyone meant it, but it was just, there was constantly this like weird thing when I would be around people who are like, why are you doing all this stuff? Why are you starting a subscription box company? Like, where do you have time to do this? How is this going to work? That kind of stuff. Like, why? And what happens a lot too, and people don't mean this, but when I start talking about the things I'm excited about and the things I'm doing, a lot of times people will go, oh man, I just couldn't do that, or I don't have time to do that, or sometimes I would feel bad even talking about the things I was doing because people start feeling guilty about their time. And I don't care what other people do. Like, I don't care if people go home and watch football and drink a beer and then go to bed. Like, I've never said that other people should do more or do other things. Right?
Oh, right.
So
no, you only talk about yourself.
Well, when you say it like that, that's not that true. I'm just saying, when people would ask me about these different things, or when they'd see them,
yes,
they would say, "Oh, I don't have." There's just this weird awkwardness. So I would kind of hide it. I would kind of, "Oh man, I'm hiding this." I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable or have this weird situation where people are like, "You shouldn't. Is this healthy? You shouldn't be doing this kind of."
Yeah, because you already have 5 kids.
Yes. Yeah.
Can't say 5 under 5 anymore. 5 under 6.
Yeah, 5 under 6, which he's almost 7. Well, he's
No,
6
he
and a
just
half.
turned 6.
Well, he's 6 and 5 months.
Yeah.
So then I posted this thing on Facebook. Do you remember me posting this? I can't.
Accountability.
Yeah,
post
I was
group.
like, yeah, I was half joking. I was like, look, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who want to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, who want to, crush their day job and be really, really good at it, and who also want to have a super healthy work-life balance, and who also want to work out and want to, start a business and grow a business, and also want to, produce stuff, make videos, and publish them weekly.
Also, a reality behind that, though, too, is that it's not like you're going 90 to nothing for a year straight. Like, we all have cycles where we're like, get a lot done and then kind of let it cruise, and then, build up again and get a lot done, and then kind of set the cruise button again, and or just, park for a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm a normal human, just like all of you.
yeah,
I bleed regular blood.
you bleed pink blood.
That's not true. So I posted this thing saying, like, I'm looking for people who are interested in doing this. And it was like it was kind of joking, kind of serious, kind of, rah, let's achieve great things. And it got a ton of traction on Facebook. And a lot of people were commenting on it saying, is this a real thing? And then there were other people that were like, I could never do this, because some of the things I put in there purposefully, it was like this list of stuff that's just really intense, really over the top. Eat 1 meal a day, work out 3 times a week, write for 20 minutes every day, pray every day, like all this crazy stuff.
Which, if you cut out 2 meals, I mean, that's an hour you've gained back in the day.
Yeah, totally. And so anyways, I don't know. There were people texting me saying, is this a real thing? I'm in, except for this one and this one, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, it was both funny and cool, but also frustrating, because it's like, why is everyone texting me and saying, I really want to do this, but I just can't do blank, this one. And I was like, why do you need me? Like, I just farted out a weird list. Like, make your own list with that, where you eat 3 meals a day, or you drink beer every night, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
So again, it was a situation where I was setting the bar high for myself and saying, man, I want to do all these things. I want to accomplish all these things. And again, other people were immediately going, really, really exciting. Yeah, but I'm not going to do these things, And again, it was just a strange thing. We should talk about the 1 meal a day thing. We should talk about the snake diet.
That is an update.
That's a very big update.
It's a big personal update.
So, and I almost don't want to talk about it.
Our diet.
I know, right? As we
here.
have our Andy's frozen custard, I almost don't want to talk about it.
I mean, I think it's so great that you're doing everybody an injustice by not talking about it.
Well, but here's the thing: is again, when you talk about stuff like this, people gets kind of dicey,
Defensive.
Yeah, and I just don't.
Yeah,
I've gotten like so many people are like, "You're doing what?" That I've kind of gotten tired of defending it, because I don't really care what people think.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need to defend it, because it's let's just say what it is.
Okay,
and we're talking about it more.
So let's tell the story. A while back, Danielle and I. Well,
here's the story.
Yeah,
I'll tell the story.
You tell a story. You're a better storyteller.
So, after our latest child, Kateri, was born, she was 2 months old, and I was exclusively nursing her.
Yep.
And, that's supposed to be a great way to lose weight.
Can you explain nursing to people who don't understand nursing?
Breastfeeding.
Can you explain breastfeeding?
You're supposed to be, no, I will not go into detail.
All right.
You're supposed to lose weight when you're breastfeeding, and I was gaining weight. So,
Well, maybe you're just being too hard on yourself. Maybe not all women are supposed to lose weight.
I mean, you're supposed to lose the baby weight, and you're supposed to like a lot faster if you're nursing.
Yeah. You
But
were eating a lot
eating
of Andes. Like a
a
lot.
lot of Andes.
Like a lot.
Yeah, it
Like
was.
a lot of nights.
It got out of hand.
Got
It got
crazy.
very out of hand.
And you were eating them by yourself. You were not. I was not helping
Yeah,
you eat them.
I was getting a large by myself.
Yeah.
Not a small and splitting it with somebody.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, it was bad.
So I had seen that YouTube
when
video.
I could only fit into one dress that I had, I call it my fat dress.
Is that a thing?
Because I can wear it when I'm skinny and I can wear it when I'm really big. It's
Do a
like
lot of
very,
girls
very
have-
forgiving.
Do a lot of girls have like multiple dresses for different weight? Is that something that lots of
Well,
girls do?
it's something that
Lots of
married women have because when
have a
you
fat
have
dress.
you have to have a wardrobe for when you're not pregnant
Mm-hmm.
and don't have baby weight on you. You have to have a wardrobe for when you're first and second trimester, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have to have like a wardrobe for last 2 months of pregnancy because you're a cow, and then you have to have another wardrobe for nursing and a little bit of baby weight on you still.
Okay.
So that's a lot of storage right there.
Yeah. Okay. So
Anyway,
when you
this
could-
was like the biggest dress I had pretty much.
Yeah. It was just a sheet. It was a big sheet.
Anyways.
Okay. And then what happened?
So,
We-
you found the snake diet somehow, and you were like, "Look at this crazy guy,"
Yeah.
and pulled it up on the TV.
Yeah. There was one night I spent this happens a lot to me. I'll find something and then I just obsess about it. And so this guy I was trying to figure out because he was so weird. He had like painted his fingernails and he was just kind of strange. And he's really intense and he's like swears a ton. And he's like, hey, he starts the video like, "Hey, fatty." And he's like, but also some of the things he was saying was kind of making sense. And so I was like, well, I don't know, maybe. And I had watched a lot of his videos and a lot of them are about fasting, about the science behind fasting and the benefits of fasting. And that what we think is starving is actually not. Anyways, sorry, I took us off the story. I had sent you the video.
Well, we were watching it together, and I was like, "Let's do it."
Yeah.
And it's definitely my type of diet because I'm
it's very extreme.
very intense and like,
It has to be black or white. You have to
Yeah.
go from 0 to 90.
yeah, because
So-
it's a change. When I want to
Yeah.
make a change, I want to change.
So the whole, I mean, and you guys look it up. I don't care enough to describe
called-
it accurately or whatever.
It's called the snake diet.
It's called the snake diet. We'll add it to the show notes, but I want to try to have Cole on the podcast. Wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be fun.
Yeah, it'd be really fun.
Because he really is a good guy, and this guy is really really does have a good heart, and he just wants to help people. And he has a crazy story of like how he was living the life and had a
Yeah.
bunch of money. He says way too much money for how old he was,
Yeah.
and was just running crazy, and then had a scary accident one night, and then woke up the next day and was like, "I'm never doing that again." And
Yeah.
kind of like got on a health kick from then on about not just like physically healthy, but mentally healthy and like self-development stuff. And he just wants to help people help themselves. And
And he does it all for free.
He does
all
it all
of
for
it's
free.
He's not selling some like $99 course. He's
No,
not selling T-shirts. He's not selling anything.
He literally lives off of donations.
I mean, and I don't even think he has ads on his YouTube channel anymore, does he?
I don't think he ever did.
Yeah. So I mean, he just and there's a really big group on Facebook called Snake Diet Motivation, I think. Mm-hmm. And he was just doing as much coaching as he could for free, and he would just coach all these people. And his whole thing is he wants to end obesity in America because he feels like obesity is not actually that serious of an issue. I mean, it's hard to overcome if you're very obese. But his whole thing is that most of the thought process behind a lot of these diets is not as helpful as it could be, and it doesn't give you as quick of results.
Right. Well, and his big thing is that it is very healthy, and
To fast.
because to fast, and it levels out your blood sugars, which we have experienced because whenever after Kateri was born, like you get even more hungry whenever you're nursing. And I was waking up starving in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And like getting up and eating a meal in the middle of the night and eating 4 meals throughout the day and eating a lot every meal. And
you were hardcore addicted to sugar.
Well, I kind of have been my whole life.
Really hardcore.
Yes. So,
well, real quick, the diet is basic. Like, it's not necessarily a diet. I mean, it's he would say it's a fasting focused lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so the idea is there's been and granted, I just don't care about how accurate a lot of this stuff is. Like, it's just worked for us as something we experimented with. That's the other thing is sometimes when I talk about all these different experiments that I do with all of this different stuff, especially like, you know, the mental energy or like physical energy or diet, nutrition and stuff. I like half care, right? Like I'm just trying stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've just been trying stuff.
Yeah.
So, again, a lot of this stuff is probably not going to be 100% accurate. This is just how we understand it so far. But the idea is that there's been some Nobel Prize work on what's called autophagy, which is and Steve, if Steve's listening, he might know a lot of this stuff. Mr. Bush, Dr. Bush. There's been some Nobel Prize work on autophagy, which is the body's natural way of
healing itself
and metabolizing old cells when it's in a fasted mode.
In cells that have gone awry.
Yeah.
Like cancer cells.
Yeah.
Things like that.
So there's a lot of promising studies in that. There's a lot of promising studies in calorie restriction, extending lifespan. There's a lot of studies on this is where a lot of the ketosis diet that's getting really popular right now. There's a lot of science that says, you know, there's a lot of promising science to say that if your body's in a state of ketosis, which we can talk about, it has benefits for your body. It has benefits that are very good. And
what's a short version of ketosis?
I think from the way I understand it is ketosis, when you're in ketosis, so normally your body uses glucose for energy. So it will turn glucose into energy. And that it can come from all sorts of stuff, but
usually from your liver.
Well, and usually from carbs. That's where you're going to get most of your glucose.
But your liver processes all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so when that runs out, then your body starts burning fat.
Yes. And so then and also it's not necessarily, kind of. And when your body changes from its primary energy source being carbs to its primary energy source being fats, that is
whether it's your own or ones that you ingest.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So the keto diet's like you're supposed to eat 70% of your 70% of your calories are supposed to be from fat. So anyway, but the idea is that at a certain point, so your liver stores a lot of glycogen, or is it? Yeah, glycogen, right? Wait, is that right?
Yes.
So your liver stores glycogen from all the carbs you eat and all this. And so as you go a long time without eating, your body is using up glucose and then using up your glycogen stores. But once your liver is depleted of glycogen, then your body starts
turning to your own fat.
So
which is where the weight loss comes from.
Yes. And then that starts producing ketones, right? The fat is turned into ketones that are then used for energy. And you can test your body for ketone levels using keto sticks or like P sticks, basically. There's also like blood tests you could do, or anyways. So the idea of this snake diet is that you would, basically,
you fast on salt water.
Yeah, you fast and push your body directly into ketosis, like as quickly as possible.
And so you get through all of your withdrawals and all of this like fat like adapting your body to burning fat and all that, and you do it really fast.
You're fasting for so it's like the first one's 48 hours.
And it's really easy because you don't have to make meals, you don't have to meal prep, you don't have to do anything. You just have to sit there and get through your withdrawals, however mild or severe. Edmund did fine, and I was like,
it was crazy,
shaking and sweating and It took me a week to get to 48 hours fasting.
You were waking up in the middle of the night, like shaking, shivering, like dripping sweat.
My entire body covered with sweat.
Yeah.
And
So the idea is you do a 48 to get through that.
You fast for 48 hours.
Fast for 48 hours. So around like, I think it's like 30 hours or 30 to 40 hours, your body will probably start, like if you're peeing on a pee strip, it's going to start showing color, meaning that there's ketones in your body. So you do that, then you eat a small meal. If you can go longer, then you just go longer. So, and Cole's whole thing is just fast until you can see your abs.
Yeah.
And part of that is there's another study that was done. I'm going to have to find all these to put these in show notes, but there was another thing that they did where they took this man who was like 300 pounds overweight and he just didn't eat for a year. And it was part of this study. I mean, they made sure to do it healthily, and they supplemented with, I think, bouillon cubes is what I found out for his electrolytes. So basically, salt,
yeah.
Sodium and potassium. And not only did he lose all the weight, he went like 368 days without eating. He lost all the weight, but also normally if you're that big, you have to get some type of surgery on
to remove the
skin. Well, the skin had sucked up with him. So his body had really efficiently like reprocessed
his skin to fuel its body, fuel the body.
So the idea with Cole Robinson or with the snake diet is, do the first 48, then do a 72 and, go for longer too. And if you and the idea is that your body will turn to its fat stores before it goes into starvation mode. So if you don't eat, your body will first go to the liver for glycogen, then it will go to your fat stores for food. And
it
if
has
you're
to go
fat,
through all of your fat
before you start starving.
Actually starve. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will never use that word again.
Yeah, right. So whatever, you're probably listening like, this isn't healthy. This doesn't sound healthy. I mean, I was right there with you. I thought this was really crazy. I was like, I'm just going to try this crazy thing.
But we did it.
And it was life-changing for me.
It's literally life and like so freeing because I would go all day without feeling hungry. I wouldn't get shaky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get like my blood sugar drops because I always had trouble with like blood sugar and energy levels. And like literally if I hadn't eaten in 4 hours, my hands were shaking.
Yeah.
And I was very hangry if I hadn't eaten. And
the craziest part for me was the first time I went 4 days without eating. And I was like, I felt great. I dropped a bunch of weight. I was starting to look really great. All my clothes were like hanging off of me. And
he was coming home and taking care of the kids. And while I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I had all this energy, like no more the 3 p.m. like, oh, I need to sleep. It just
or
like
drink coffee.
Yeah, I mean, also I'd been doing the fast. I cut out all coffee too, so that was really huge. But it was really crazy. And the biggest thing was, I mean, going 4 days without eating and feeling like great. Feeling mentally really sharp, feeling energetic, sleeping really well.
And you were very focused.
Yes, extremely focused. And the biggest thing for me was just the freedom of realizing, wow, like I could be dropped in a forest somewhere. And if I have enough fat on my body, I'm not going to freak out about going more than 10 hours without eating. Like I could go 4 days.
Like your sole focus is not going to be, oh my gosh, food.
Yeah, like I need food right away or I'm going to pass out and not like I started working out. So I started doing these like 48 hours, then a big meal, and then like 48 hours. And in between those 48 hours, like working out a lot, going running. I did get the cramps a little bit. My legs got cramps, but I think part of that was my like either magnesium or potassium was kind of off. I was either drinking too much water or not enough sodium or potassium, because when I would down like a bunch of sodium, then I'd feel better. But that was just so huge. It was so freeing. Do you want to talk about
let's talk about you
my
more.
Like mood? Do you want to talk? Well, no, you've said too that you feel like just my mood and overall mental health has been very good.
Yeah, it's been a lot better.
Yeah,
definitely been much like
much more even.
Yeah, much more even. Not as much up and down, and but also when you come home, you're happy. You're not like I forget what I used to call it, but Eben would come home and like he would just kind of come home and tear through your house and like throw stuff places. And he doesn't do that anymore, so that's really nice.
Well, I think we've also talked about that.
Well, but it still happened a lot.
Yeah. I come home.
think it was more your mood than
You know, it's funny.
actual
It's
you
fun-
being upset. It was just
Laura says that Kyle does the same thing. Laura's one of my coworkers, and she says that Kyle would come home and
Her
just
husband.
start doing the dishes and like just cleaning stuff up or whatever. And it was just he just wanted to do it because he's home now and he Anyways, we're getting off. Something in my ear sounds weird.
yeah. So things that I felt that benefited me were I just wasn't hungry, so I wasn't getting up in the middle of the night. I didn't need to get up and eat a meal because before I was hungry in the middle of the night. Then at 7 a.m. again, I woke up starving.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like come downstairs and cook yourself a big old meal when you've got kids upstairs to take care of or in their bedrooms or get ready or do whatever, or nurse or just get dressed for the day. So I feel very freed from food.
And you dropped a ton of weight
And dropped a lot of weight
very quickly.
very quickly.
You were feeling better.
Yeah.
Feeling way better.
Yes. So, yeah.
So anyways, it was fun. So now at this point, I'm eating one meal a day. I don't wake up really hungry. Lunch is not a big deal. It's been really weird to just sit at my desk, wake up at 5, get in at 6 or 7 and just sit at my desk until it's time to go. That's been the weirdest part is not, oh man, I'm starting to get hungry. I need to go eat, and just coming home and then at 7 or 8 or whatever, cooking myself 4 pieces of bacon, 3 eggs, 1 avocado, a bunch of pesto. What else would I have? Oh man, if you're those of you who are listening, you need to try cashews, blueberries, and almond butter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. It's like ice cream.
It is.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Anyways.
When you're fasting, it's like the creme de la creme of food.
It's so good. That was like, okay, I can get by on this little dessert thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been eating that almost every day. I've gotten really dang good at making 3 eggs and 4 pieces of bacon.
Very efficient.
I can whip that whole meal up. I think I whipped it all up in like 5 minutes this morning. Or was that this morning? Yeah, that was this morning. Anyways, that's what's new with us. That's our long story. We got it out there. If people ask, we'll just say, go listen to the podcast. Go listen to me and my wife talk about it. It's changed our lives.
It has.
Wouldn't you agree?
Like, awesome.
Yeah.
Changed our life.
I feel, man, we've gotten so much. So to round out the conversation, weird stuff like this, wanting to get more done, is something that I'm not ashamed of anymore.
And the snake diet has freed us, both of us, to do that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to stop. Like, I don't have to like stop and eat 2 other huge meals other than breakfast and lunch, and then another meal at night. And
next, I'm going to start
get stuff done.
Yep,
take care of the kids or whatever we need to do.
I think the next thing should be the sleep diet, where we just don't sleep for 48 hours.
We've already tried that.
That's not healthy.
It results in major depression.
Yeah, true. True. Well, that's all I really got. I feel good about that. Well, okay. What I was going to say is, this is kind of like a new phase for me. I'm going to be, I've decided, we've actually talked about this. And I think people listening,
You should always say, we've decided.
yes, we've decided. We've decided because we've talked a little bit about what does retirement look like, which I think is a conversation maybe most 30-year-olds are starting to have. That's probably the age to start asking that, right? Anyways, we've talked about...
Yeah. Talk about a lot of things at 30.
Yeah.
You're not 30 yet.
That's true. I'm not in the club.
We can't have this conversation for another month.
We can. Whoa, my birthday's in a month? Oh, that's
A little
true.
over.
That's true. We're going to plan a big party. All of you listening at home, you're invited.
No, you don't get a party. I didn't get a party.
Okay.
We can have a party.
We can have a party.
We can get a babysitter and go
have a party
somewhere else.
The big 3-0 party. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Since we're both 30.
we have some announcements coming down the pike for, some projects that we're kind of are in the works. And then I'm just not ashamed anymore of this. And we've talked a little bit about, I just, unless the Lord has other plans, I want to work at this parish for as long as they'll let me.
This parish is
St. Francis and Grapevine. Don't
Yeah.
be creepy. Don't show up unannounced and just, I mean, I guess you could. That'd be kind of fun. But just don't be weird and show up unannounced. Anyways, don't stalk me, kidnap me, throw me in the back of your car. I want to work at this parish for as long as they'll let me. And then whenever that day comes that it makes sense to move on, I would hope, or the plan at this point
is that you would have something in place.
Yeah, that would
to
have things
then
in place.
Take
Things.
over
Yeah, that would have things in place.
to provide.
Videos and podcasting and creative things and writing.
So that's
and
all your retirement plan.
That's part of the.
We don't have a 401k.
Yeah.
That's a retirement
Well,
plan.
also, like my dad always said, the 5 kids upstairs are our retirement plan too. Hopefully, one of them will be a priest, and then one of them will be
if
really
we can
rich.
keep Dominic out of jail,
Yeah, that's true.
then
We love you, Dominic. Dominic's listening to this right now in the future, and he's like 16, and he's like, "Why'd you say that?"
oh gosh,
But it's okay, Dominic. We'll talk
we'll
about
explain.
it. Yeah.
I promise you'll understand.
And I think our kind of dream is that when that day does come, that we'd be able to live somewhere where we're farming, where we're self-sufficient. We're saying this right now to us in the future, where we're going to be
You're saying this to me
self-sufficient.
right now.
Yeah, where we will be self-sufficient. We'll have solar panels on our roof.
Okay,
We'll have horses and
I'm
cows.
writing this down.
We'll just be able to, but we need internet. We'll have internet so that I can do all my creative
So you
weird
can
things.
survive.
Yeah, so that I can survive, and then writing books and just doing creative stuff. The way I've been able to boil it down is making things.
If the internet stays a free,
Yeah, that's
place.
true. Yeah, this is riding on a lot of presumptions, but that's kind of
the
the
world
plan.
is changing.
Yeah. So, and I think this podcast and the YouTube channel is just going to be documenting that journey. And maybe we'll turn 50 and we'll just have a lot of really good home videos. Or maybe we'll turn 50 and it will have been a thing that has built up an audience. And I'm excited 20 years from now to look back on these videos and go, yeah, remember, like pull it up on our big fancy TV and be like, yeah, remember when we were so young. We were only 30. We were so young. You remember that?
Yeah.
We were so young. So
Okay.
anyways, if I
Say
guess
that again.
you're so young. This is not this is a very long message, but what I wanted to say to people, to encourage people listening, that if you want to do something crazy, like listen,
Just do it.
just do it. But listen to the episode, the Joe Rogan podcast, where he interviews David Goggins. This is a crazy guy. He like broke the world record for pull-ups. He was obese, like morbidly obese, 3 times in his life, and got back in shape to join the Marines, or
3
like
separate times?
Yeah, like, or maybe it was 2 different times, and then like he had like a severe learning disability, all this stuff, and he just does crazy stuff every single day. He's just always getting after it, doing things to challenge and push himself. And when he always says, I'm not different. I'm just willing to push myself. And
It's just willing to try stuff.
yeah, he's just willing to try stuff and push himself and hold himself to high expectations in a healthy way. And so if you start wanting more for your life, or you start wanting to do like remarkable things, or just not because you just want to be prideful and be great, but you want to do great things. You want greatness in your life. You want to be the best spouse ever, and you want to be the best father ever, and you want to just
Not that you want to be the best.
Okay,
because
sorry.
that
the
goes
greatest
against
that
competition.
the greatest that you can be. You should just start doing it, and people in your life, they're not going to do it on purpose. I love all my friends. I love all of our friends. They're not going to do it on purpose, but it's hard. It's hard for people to.
Maybe we need to get better at sharing how we make time to do these things, or how we plan them in, and how
Yeah, I
we
think we
say,
should.
if we don't put it on the calendar, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like that's the first step.
Yep.
And even then, 2/3 of the time, it doesn't get done. And
Two-thirds
we have to
of the
put
time.
it on the calendar 2 more times for it to actually happen.
No, 2/3 of the time you don't check the calendar.
Oh God.
Anyways, so there are going to be people in your life that are not going to understand that, and just do what makes you happy. If like this stuff makes me. People are always asking too, like, how do you have time to do all this stuff? And I'm just like, I don't have any other hobbies. This is my hobby. Like, I love this. This is
That's a
fun.
Casey Musgraves song.
Ooh, what? What's the song? That's my hobby.
No, do what makes you happy. That's kind of the gist of it.
Do it makes you feel good.
Follow your arrow wherever it goes.
Follow your arrow.
Yeah.
Wherever it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your arrow?
Let's
Where's it pointing? Where's your arrow pointing?
many different directions.
Anyways, do it makes you happy. And if what's making you happy is to pursue things and try things and experiment and be creative and do these creative things to try to build an audience around making stuff that you love and doing things, making things for people, you got to just go for it and not be ashamed, because people are not, people might have a hard time understanding it. Because
I think the biggest thing, though,
because to them, other things make them happy.
they're so shocked because we have 5 very young children.
Yeah.
We're not like some single Joe Schmo or even married without kids.
Okay, but that's exactly, remember.
But my big thing too, with all that we've done, especially with Lumibox and like to bring them along and make it be something that enriches our entire family.
Yeah. But that's the other, I want a name for this principle, this whole idea that when you have one kid, you feel like you have no time.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 kids and you feel like you have no time. And then you have 3 kids and you feel like, I was an idiot. I have no time now. And then you have 4 kids.
Keeps going, man.
Yeah.
It can go. There's people
So what
we
is
know
that
have
called?
11 kids.
So how do we call that like, what I always think is, man, okay, there is a way for me to, like, it is possible for me to do more. So I could just pretend today that I have 10 kids.
Yeah.
Like, how would I have to act? What would I have to do? What sacrifices would I have to make? I'd have to wake up at 5 a.m. I'd have to, you know what I mean? Like, I need to come up with a way, like a principle or like a title for that, like that effect, like
I think you
the
already
compounding-
have. It's the work
compounding
you have to do expands to the time you have.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's not my. That's the.
Well, I've only heard you say it, so wherever you got that from.
It's not the Pareto principle. It's the Parkinson's law.
Mm.
I really impressed Father Flynn when I knew what that was. In my interview, so I was interviewing for this position, and Father Flynn was talking about how all the closets in the building.
You were interviewing for the position you have now at the church.
Yeah. And he was talking about all the closets were filling up, and he's like, well, the Parkinson's law, if you have a closet, it's going to get filled. And I was like, oh yeah, Parkinson's law, like work expands to fill the time allowed for it. And I think I nailed, I think I sank the job there. Anyways, this wasn't as inspiring as I thought. This wasn't as tight as I would have wanted it to be, but it was fun. Who cares? That's the other part of all this stuff. It's like, who cares? It's my podcast. I get to do what I want.
You care.
Now, granted, there are projects that I do care what people think about them, because you want
them to be quality.
Yeah, and that determines whether or not they're successful.
Yeah.
Like if you're providing a service or a product, but this thing is
you don't care about
this is just
podcast.
a hobby.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
Anyways,
exactly.
Hopefully this was enjoyable to someone. And if Edmund and Danielle are listening right now in the future, I hope we at least have a cow or a goat. Chickens.
I'm holding you accountable to that.
Okay. Well, this is the show. If you made it this far, you must really, be weird or you really like us.
Hold on. We're going to have a cow or a goat. But what I want to have happened is that you have milked it.
Me?
At least once.
The goat or the cow?
Either one.
I'll
Because if
milk
we
a cow.
have cows or goats, they're going to be milk cows or goats.
I'll milk a cow.
Okay.
I'll milk the cheese right out of the cow.
Okay.
I'll milk all the milk out of the cow.
My parents might be getting a milk goat soon, so I'm just saying this could happen soon.
I can milk. I'm not. What? Do you think I'm afraid to milk an animal?
No, you just don't like doing stuff like that.
I don't. Do you?
I like animals. And
I like animals
everything
too.
that has to do with animals.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, it's just work. It's not like,
No.
oh yeah, I get to milk a cow.
Is your work? Can you call work fulfilling? There's work that you do that is fulfilling.
Yes,
and that
I'm not as interested in doing that kind of fulfilling work.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
and I am.
Sure.
It fulfills me.
I married a farm girl,
You
a
did.
farm cow girl.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this was fun. We were kind of testing out the live stream. Hopefully that worked. Hopefully it all recorded. This was really cool. If you want to send us stuff, I'm going to be making more videos in this office. And if you want to send us stuff for the wall, I need like decorations and stuff. If you want to send us a package or something like that, we'll try to send you something back. I want to get maybe stickers and like weird, cool things to send people, but I don't know. I think it'd be cool to like put some stuff back here that people send and just, you know.
You're going to have to make room first.
Yeah, I am. I think I'm going to put like a pegboard here so I can hang a bunch of things. What else? What other announcements? We still have a Patreon page that helps me create stuff, but I don't know. What else? What other announcements are there? There's other ones. Oh, you can send in voicemails. You can ask questions. You can send in voicemails or you can call in live at 817-527-1423. And in future episodes, we have another episode coming up with Allie Hoffman.
Say that 3 times fast.
What? Which?
The
Allie
number.
Hoffman.
The
Allie
number.
Hoffman. Allie Hoffman.
The number.
Oh, 817-527-1423.
Again.
Why?
Because I said 3 times. You only said it 2.
I'll do that later.
Okay.
That'll be for the Patreon subscribers. We're going to have Allie Hoffman, Johnny Philp, and Nick Gutierrez over. We're going to do a crazy party podcast. And what else is announcements? I think that's it. Go check it out. I am dominating Instagram. I am just going really hard. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you're really missing out on some quality posts. I'm having way too much fun over there. So
Over there
on Instagram. All right. Any last words you have for the kids at home?
My kids?
No, just the people
Your
at home.
kids?
Yeah, our kids. Or just the people.
Those kids?
Yeah, the people at home. Any last words?
Their kids.
What's your sign off? What's your like, and we're done kind of thing?
Yeah, and we're done. I don't speak words.
I don't speak words. Danielle Mitchell, everyone. My wife. Okay. Bye. I love you.
Bye. I love you too.